In the wild world of app development, there's this quiet revolution going on. And it's not about the code, not really, it's about how we explain that code. So today, we're going to talk about how AI is becoming this essential collaborator, a new teammate for the folks who write the manuals, our technical writers.
Okay, I want to start with just one number, and it's kind of mind-blowing, 11.6 seconds. Get this, in the top-tier, high-performing software companies, that's how often a new version of their product goes live to customers. We're not talking once a month or even once a day. We're talking every 11.6 seconds. That's just an incredible, relentless pace, right?
So that leads to a really big question, doesn't it? If the code itself is changing multiple times a minute, how on earth can the documentation keep up? The user manuals, the API guides, all the stuff that tells people how to actually use the software. How can any of that possibly stay accurate? It feels impossible. And that, right there, is what we can call the documentation dilemma. For the technical writers who are on the front lines of this, that incredible speed isn't just some abstract number. Nope, it's this source of immense, day-in, day-out pressure.
So let's break down what that pressure really looks like day to day. You've got writers who are just constantly trying to keep up with these super fast development sprints. They have to make sure every single API detail is perfect, translate really complex code into plain English, and then they've got to juggle multiple versions of the same document at the same time. Now, try doing all of that for a huge enterprise-level product. I mean, it's a total recipe for burnout.
So what's the answer here? Well, it's not about trying to make humans work even faster. That's just not sustainable. It's about giving them a completely new kind of partner. And this is where we introduce the AI teammate. And I really want you to focus on that word, teammate. Not tool, but teammate.
So what exactly is an AI teammate anyway? Well, put simply, it's an AI that's built to be a collaborator. Its whole job is to take over all the repetitive, data-intensive parts of documentation. The grunt work. And what that does is it frees up the human writer to focus on the big picture stuff, the strategic work that really needs that human brain.
Okay, the easiest way to think about it is like this. Picture having a tireless junior partner on your team. Someone who literally never gets bored, never needs a coffee break, never sleeps, and can just churn through information at an unbelievable speed. They handle all the tedious stuff, so you get to be the architect, the strategist.
All right, so this all sounds great in theory, but what does this new teammate actually do on the job? What are its real core skills? Let's dive into its day-to-day workflow.
So we can pretty much break its job down into a clear 4-step process. First, it handles draft generation. Then it does this amazing code-to-text translation. After that, it's all about quality and consistency checks. And finally, it manages all the updates. It's just this continuous, super helpful cycle.
Okay, let's start with step 1, generating drafts. We've all been there, right? Staring at that blinking cursor on a blank page. Well, with an AI teammate, that's gone. The writer starts with a solid first draft already waiting for them. I mean, think about it. Just trying to manually pull together all the code comments from a dozen different developers into one document, that could take all morning. The AI just scans everything, and boom, you've got a baseline draft before you've even finished your first coffee.
Next up is that code-to-text translation. And honestly, this is where it gets really, really smart. A developer pushes a change to the code, and the AI instantly analyzes it and suggests a plain English explanation for what just happened. It's like a universal translator, bridging that huge gap between technical jargon and, actual human understanding.
And then we get to steps 3 and 4, where the AI basically becomes the ultimate quality control cop. Imagine this nightmare scenario. Your company decides to rebrand a feature, let's say from Quick Sync to Instant Link. A human writer would have to go on this epic search and replace mission across hundreds, maybe thousands of documents, and just pray they don't miss one. The AI? It scans the entire library, flags every single instance, and makes sure everything is perfectly consistent, and it does it in seconds.
Okay, and this brings us to what I think is the most important part of this whole discussion. Because let's be super clear. This is not about replacing humans. It's about creating a powerful new team. It's all about augmenting human skill, not automating it away.
Just look at how this breaks down. It really clarifies the roles. On one side, you've got the human writer, focusing on the big picture stuff, strategy, empathy for the user, creative problem solving, and actually telling a good story. And on the other side, the AI teammate is just crushing the grunt work, the repetitive drafting, making sure the data is accurate, flagging errors, and generating content super fast.
You see? They're not competing. They're completing each other's skill sets. And this quote, this really just nails it. The goal is no longer to write faster, it's to think deeper. That's the whole game right there. When you let the AI handle the speed, the human writers are suddenly free to focus on making the work better, clearer, and way more valuable.
So, where is this all heading? What does this mean for the future? Look, this isn't just some small tweak to how things get done. This is a fundamental shift in what technical writing even is and how much value it can bring.
Here's the real takeaway. With an AI teammate, documentation completely transforms. It stops being this reactive chore, where you're always playing catch-up. Instead, it becomes a proactive, strategic asset. We're talking something that actively improves the product, lowers support costs, and genuinely makes customers happier. And so, I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. As this kind of technology becomes totally mainstream, maybe the most important skill for any of us isn't just writing or coding anymore. Maybe the real game changer is learning how to be a great manager, a great collaborator for an intelligent AI partner. What do you think?